Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Got a lot of things I want to give you an update for in this video. Kind of go over my guesstimates as to what could happen in 2024 with the crypto markets in general, where we're headed towards the end of 2024 and into 2025, what I think our price targets are for the 2025 bull run. So there's a lot of things I want to cover in this video and some articles I want to show you that kind of points us where we might be headed. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button and let's jump into it. Alright, so there's a lot of things I want to cover in this video. I don't want to make the video too long, but I'm going to kind of go over where we're at in the market right now, what I think is going to happen over the next couple months and towards the end of the year for this bull run, and give you some price targets for some big caps that I think are fantastic for this bull run, and where you might want to really scoop some up hard if we hit those price targets, and where I think they're headed, where I think Bitcoin could be headed in this bull run, and Ethereum, and the overall market cap in general for the total crypto market cap. So we'll cover that in this video. Let's jump into it here. So currently we've been around this 1.6 trillion market cap for the last week or so here. We had Bitcoin back under 40,000 again, and I'm recording this last night as you're watching this, so I'm sure this is going to change a little bit between now and then, but Ethereum almost back down to $2,000, so that's had a decent correction. Salana $86, and Cardano down to 46 cents, Avalanche down to $30, Chainlink down to $13. So you notice some of these coins are starting to bleed a little bit more to Bitcoin, and you'll notice that Bitcoin will bleed hard, pull these alts down, then it'll come up and recover a little bit, and the alts don't really recover that much, and then Bitcoin will tend to bleed more and pull the alts down even harder each time. They kind of bleed more and more to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin keeps its dominance that way. That's just kind of what it does. So if we do get down to that $36,000 mark that I was talking about, or even lower, possibly down to that $32,000 mark, you're going to see a lot of these coins bleeding pretty hard if that happens. And I'm not saying for sure that's going to happen. We could be just taking a breather and we take off again, but I just want you to kind of think about what you should do or could do either way, just so you're prepared for either direction that we go. So if you look at Salana here, I gave you my price targets on this the other day and where I would be picking some up. Currently, we could get this dip down to $73, very likely, and then we could get down into this $60 range. If we crash really hard down to this like $43 range. If we get down into, if you get down to the, below the $75 mark, you want to pick up some Salana, probably a good time to pick some up. But if we really get down into either of these levels here, especially if we get down under this $61 mark, this zone here, I would be buying extremely heavy. There's going to be a lot of buying pressure in here if it gets this low. So what you can do is, if you're looking to pick some of these coins up, you can set like a limit order for the prices that you think they might dip to and wick down to really quick, because they're not going to stay there long. They usually just wick down for like a few minutes and then things recover really quickly. So you want to set a limit order for those price targets. You could set a limit order for $74 and then set another one with a little bit more money for down to $65 or $62, somewhere in there, and then you could set another one down in here. You just never know how hard the market could crash at some point, and then either way you're picking some up on the way down and getting your average down if that happens. So it just depends on what the market does. We could be taking a breather and then we take off up to the next level, but typically we get a pretty decent correction on Bitcoin before the halving, and then or shortly after the halving before we take off in the main bull run. If you took a look at Chainlink here, we jumped all the way up from down here at like $5 all the way up here to like $17, almost $18, and then we come down a little bit here down to this $13 mark, and we're kind of going sideways now with this. So if Chainlink, if you were to put some buy orders down in this $10 to $12 range, you get down in there, it'd be a good time to pick some up. You can see this right here where there was some hard buying pressure right at this price point here. So I would expect that we might come back down into this range again, and then if we really ever came down under this $10 mark, it'd be a good time to really start heavily buying some Chainlink if that were to happen, because I expect Link to do really well in the bull run. As far as Salana, my price predictions on it were probably between that $250 to $400 range, possibly $500 to $600, but likely closer to the closer to the $400 range is realistic. But I say 250 to 400 just to be safe, because I would start taking profits out at that point if I was holding it long term for that. And then Chainlink, I think my price estimate on this one was like over $100 on this one possibly. So if I remember correctly. Avalanche, this is another one that had actually a decent correction here. If we look at it, we'll measure this one. I think it was up like 500% or something ridiculous. Yeah, like 480 some percent it went up to from the bottom here. So all the way from like $8 up to like $50. So that was a real big jump on this one. So, you know, pretty much almost like a 5x really. And then if you look at where we've come down to from here, let me make this a little bit easier to measure. If we measure from where we wicked up here at the top down to where we wicked down here already, you know, we're looking at, we already had a 45% correction on Avalanche. So good buying zone for Avalanche. It's possible, you know, if we were to get a correction on Bitcoin, it's probably going to come down in this $15 to $23, $24 range here, $15 to $25 range. Probably jump down in this, but there's going to be a lot of buying pressure right in here around this $20 to $22 range. So might be a good spot to pick some up. But, you know, with it being down to $8, I don't expect us to get that low again. More than likely, people are going to start buying it really heavy if we ever were to wick down into this range again. ICP, took a look at this one already. It was up to $16 here, all the way down from like $3. So, you know, that had over a 5x on it. So now if we measure this $16 to where we wicked down here right to this mark, a little over $9.50. That was a 40% correction on ICP, pretty healthy correction on that one. So it's in a really good buying zone right now. It's possible it could jump down lower than this $9.50 range. Maybe it gets down to like the $8 range again, but I wouldn't really expect it to get down into this $6 or $7 range again. If it were to happen, that would be another heavy buying zone for it. But you could always put some orders in just in case it gets down to this, you know, $10 range again, and then another heavier buy order around the $8 or $9 range to really pick some up if we get a dip on it. Because a lot of times this happens faster than you can react, and if you don't have those buy orders in, you're going to miss them more than likely. So because they do happen really quick. So take a look at the price predictions for 2024 and 2025 bull run. Binance came out with this article, and you got to remember it's Binance, so I think they're biased. You know, I trust articles that are kind of outside crypto a little bit more than Binance on their price estimates. But basically, they're thinking that, you know, the total crypto market cap could potentially reach 9 trillion. I do kind of agree with that as a, you know, as a really high end. I'm expecting somewhere in the $5 to $7 trillion total crypto market cap range. Some people are expecting 10 trillion. Possible, but I wouldn't say it's that likely. That's more than a 5x from here. And, you know, they're saying in this article that they think Ethereum could reach 1.5 to 2 trillion to $14,000 to $18,000 per ETH. I highly doubt that. I really highly doubt that by 2025. That's higher than Bitcoin's market cap got last bull run. I don't think that's realistic at all. I would think ETH would probably get to the $7,000 to $8,000 range, maybe the $10,000 range. You know, like $7,500 to $8,000 would kind of be my guesstimate for ETH, and then maybe up to $10,000 if we get some really bullish news with it, with ETFs and stuff. But I would not expect ETH to get like $14,000 or $18,000 this bull run. I think that's not realistic. Is it possible? I guess it's possible, but I wouldn't say it's very likely. They're thinking BNB could hit $1,500 to $2,000. I highly doubt that. And they're saying XRP $15 to $20 per token. That's not happening more than likely. You know, I don't know where they're getting their price estimates from, but I don't think that's realistic at all for XRP to get, you know, more than like $5 per token this bull run. I just don't see that happening. You know, we didn't even hit $1 with XRP after they pretty much won the lawsuit with the SEC, and it just jumped up to like what, 80 or 90 some cents, and then came back down and hasn't done much since then. Even with all the other bullish moves in the market, XRP didn't really move much. This article here by CryptoRank.io, analyst sets $8 trillion target for crypto market cap in 2025. This is just from an article at the end of 2023. They're saying basically in a recent post on the X platform, the analyst Ether Nasanala, I'm not sure how you pronounce their name, Nasanala or whatever, put forward an exciting projection for the digital asset market over the coming years. According to the pundit, the crypto total market cap could reach $8 trillion by 2025. This bullish prediction is based on the candlestick formations on the weekly time frame across various market cycles over the past decade. Ether identified 3 bull cycles since 2015, with the third year still in its early stages. So we can take a look at this chart here. I'm going to zoom in just so you guys can see it better. So they kind of go over the patterns of the last market cycles, and they counted the candlesticks, and so they kind of came up with what we could do with this here. And this is before this correction, so they were predicting we could get all the way up to here with over a 2 trillion market cap before we get a correction on the market, and we're already correcting before we're even reaching that. So will we get up to 8 trillion? It's really hard to say. A correction was due on the market, I think, but we could be just taking a breather, and then we take up, we take off up to 2 or 2 point some trillion, and then we get a deeper correction like they're showing here, and then we take off in the main bull run. But this is kind of realistic for us to come down, come up, and then come down again before we take off into the main bull run, kind of like a spring action here. I'm expecting us to kind of slowly work our way down towards the halving and shortly after before we take off into the bull run. So I think an $8 trillion market cap is doable for this bull run. My target's kind of 5 to 7 trillion, but 8 trillion, I could see that happening. So kind of a realistic price target, I think, for the total crypto market cap. That would probably put Bitcoin in the $2 to $2.5 trillion, possibly, just guessing off of its previous market cap versus the rest of the market cap. And we got this article here. This was on the Nasdaq.com. Crypto market rally not fake. Experts say forecasting altcoin market cap to reach all-time highs by 2025. And they're seeking to dispel misconceptions about the sustainability of the upward mobility in crypto market on Monday. And this is from the Nasdaq. So this was not a fake rally, but one supported by fundamentals in the market sentiment between Bitcoin. It could pass its all-time high of 69,000 by the end of 2024 and reach new all-time highs in 2025. And they're talking about Bitcoin and Dogecoin and all these others in here. But I agree with this. I agree that we could see Bitcoin reach its previous all-time high by the end of this year, but I think we're going to get that correction first before we really take off towards the end of the year into a bullish move for this upcoming bull run, and then push into higher all-time highs in 2025. So are we going to get another double top again? That's kind of the question on what it's gonna do. But I do see personally Bitcoin probably getting close to that $100,000 mark. If we push through that $100,000 mark, I think we're probably going to go for the 125 to 150 range as a top for this cycle for Bitcoin. But I'm expecting Bitcoin to kind of top out around the $100,000 mark. There's a theory out there that people have had that it could reach 250,000 because of the ETFs. I would say that's really kind of overdoing it. That's over a 5x from here. To get to 200,000, that's like what that's a 5x from its current price. Bitcoin got up to like $200,000. That's like almost a $4 trillion market cap for Bitcoin this bull run. I just don't see that much pouring into Bitcoin itself this bull run. It's possible, but I would say that's not very likely. That's a lot of money pouring into Bitcoin and a lot of market cap. So I'm expecting us to top out around somewhere in that $100,000 mark. It's going to be a tough number to push through. And this NASDAQ article here kind of expects it to get to new all-time highs in 2025. That would be roughly they're guessing around roughly 3x its price at the halving. So if we're at, if we're at 35,000, let's say at the halving, you're looking at just like a little over $100,000 Bitcoin. I think that is a realistic target, because a lot of times it'll do like a 3x from its halving price to the top. So that's kind of what they're kind of going by, and I agree with that theory that we could maybe get a 3x out of Bitcoin from its halving point. So some of the people that are expecting it to get to 200,000, I think are going to be disappointed this bull run if that's what they're expecting. I know Crypto Crew University does some really good chart analysis on Bitcoin, and he's been pretty accurate on a lot of things. He has a theory of a 5.3, the 5.3 theory, where Bitcoin, I think it's Bitcoin to get 5.3x its bottom price in the bear market, because that's what it's done every single bull run this far since its inception. So that would top Bitcoin out, I think, around 79,000 this bull run is kind of what he was figuring. So I think that may be a little low. I think we're going to push through that pretty easily. Like if we're already at 69,000 by the end of this year, another 10,000 into 2025, I think would be very doable for it to pass that. So we'll just have to see. I would say that you really should start taking out some serious profit, though, if we break our previous all-time high, especially if we're in the high 80s and 90s for the fear and greed index, and just make sure you're taking out profit on the way up just in case, and then you make sure you leave some in case we keep going higher. But that's kind of how you have to play that game. You definitely want to be taking profits out, though, when your coins are up 5, 10, 20x or so you're not stuck holding the bag in case we don't reach some of these price points that people are expecting it to. So just kind of keep that in mind, and I'd love to hear your guys' price targets in the comments below, what you think Bitcoin could reach in this upcoming bull run, and Ethereum and the total crypto market cap. That's kind of my price predictions for it. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you for sure that that's what's going to happen, but I try to be realistic and give you realistic price predictions, and not some of these crazy ones of people calling for a 10 to 50 trillion dollar crypto market cap this bull run. I mean, that's like 50 trillion market cap is more than like the entire S&P 500 market cap. So that's not happening. I would be very surprised if we hit 10 trillion. I would be happy if we hit 10 trillion this market cap this bull run, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just trying to be realistic so people don't get disappointed out there if we don't hit those numbers, because they are going to be very, very difficult to reach. I don't know where that money would come from for us to get that high in the market cap. So, but I appreciate it, guys. If you subscribe to my channel, hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps get my videos out to more people, so I really appreciate that. Don't forget to check out my Telegram and my Discord. The Telegram's free. The link's in the description below. The Discord is a membership through Patreon. That's only $14.99 a month, and there's a lot of benefits that come with that, so you can check those out in the Patreon. But really appreciate all of you, and we'll see you on the next video.